Welcome back to another Cliff Cuts. This is how to paint and the tools required. Be sure to see Home Renovision DIY for the full-length tutorial. This is the tools you're going to need to complete the job. Paint strainer, especially if you use cheap paint. Paint tray, optional throwaway liner as well. Paint rollers, 9-inch or smaller depending on the size. Sanding head, very important, as you want to sand in between each coat. Sanding block, depending if you use putty on the walls. Some knives, if you have to chip that away. And assorted paintbrushes, various sizes depending on the job that you're doing. Last but not least, a pole, standard telescopic pole. Make sure you have the setup together, your roller spins, is not bound up. You want to use the pole that has a positive locking mechanism. This ensures that it doesn't spin apart as you're painting. Get the roller in there, get it nice and set up. Optional pole holder if you want. Now the knife with the hole in it, this is perfect for removing paint at the end of the job. It'll save up to a quarter paint by the end. Now time to prep. Take the knife and or screwdriver and remove all outlet covers and light covers. You do not want to paint over these. Now we're going to be painting all the trim before the walls, so don't worry about being a little messy. Just make sure you cover all the trim. Now we're on to sanding these walls before we start to paint. A nice light sand, and make sure you wipe off any dust that might have accrued from the sanding. Alright, so as we're going to be painting the trim here, push the brush right up into the edge, making sure not to get the paint all the way to the end, just a quarter of an inch to the edge on all the sides. This is mostly because this is a first coat. Eventually when we come back for the second coat, we'll actually push the paint all the way up to the edges. So just pull down from the heel of the brush and then wipe away any excess paint. Same with the baseboards. Just get it in nice and low angle so you can see where the brush is actually touching near the baseboard. Drag it along and then pull it away when you start to get a little bit extra paint on the edge. Now just to finish up all the edges and we'll get to rolling. So as we start the roller, really make sure it soaks in there and gets deep inside of the roller. And as you hit the wall, just a nice light touch up and down. Get it about a quarter of an inch to the edge, not all the way over the edge, just right up against it. Obviously avoiding from touching the ceilings or other walls. And just nice even up and down strokes. Do not go side to side. Stay with the same motion that you started with. Keeping the brush strokes in the universal direction. If you get into a tight spot, use shorter strokes, but maintain the same direction the whole time. It'll keep the grain together. So as we're about to get to the second coat, make sure we sand. Nice, same as beginning, nice light sand, just covering the entire duration of the wall. This will ensure a nice smooth coat. As we dip the paintbrush in, just make sure you wipe it off, make sure nothing's really dripping off. And then we're going to go in for the second coat and we're going to get right up into the edge here, pulling the brush up and just barely touching right where the ceiling is. Get all the way out to the edges. Should be much easier this time because you're painting on top of a nice, freshly painted walls rather than something old or dry. So be sure to also finish all the edges on a single wall, then roll that wall before going on to the edges and rolling the other walls. It's a little different than the first coat. This will ensure a uniform look across all of your walls. Now just to roll it all out, and you're done.